In the mud and chaos of the Second World War, soldiers often became their own chemists, mechanics, and survivalists. Deprived of supplies and faced with miserable living conditions, they turned to field improvisation, using anything from toothpaste to gun grease to make do. But one forgotten story, buried deep in field manuals and veteran letters, tells of a supposed miracle fix that spread like wildfire through Allied camps, the Lye Trick. Soldiers believed they could use lye, the same caustic soda found in soap making, to sterilize, preserve, and even waterproof gear. It was so widely attempted that some units were ordered to stop using it altogether. The reason? It didn't just fail. It often made things worse. This isn't a story of superstition or rumour. It's a lesson in wartime desperation, chemistry, and how misinformation spreads faster than reason when survival is on the line. And buried in this failed experiment is a warning that still matters today, especially for anyone who experiments with do-it-yourself preservation or survival chemistry. The Lye Trick started as a misunderstood chemistry shortcut. The Lye Trick was born out of necessity. During the Second World War, lye or sodium hydroxide was one of the most commonly available industrial compounds. It was used in soap making, cleaning and degreasing, shipped in drums to supply lines across Europe and the Pacific. Somewhere along the way, soldiers began experimenting with lye as a quick way to strip rust, sterilize bandages or waterproof canvas. The logic seems sound on the surface. After all, lye is alkaline and kills bacteria. It can dissolve organic residue and, in theory, create a barrier on materials like leather or fabric. But this misunderstanding came from a partial grasp of how lye actually reacts with fats, fibres and metals. When lye reacts with organic matter, it doesn't just clean, it changes it. This reaction, called saponification, is the same one used in soap making. So, when soldiers tried to sterilize clothing or waterproof boots using lye and hot water, they weren't disinfecting anything. They were, in effect, half-making soap directly on the fabric. The results were stiff, brittle uniforms and boots that disintegrated faster than before. It didn't take long for the higher-ups to notice the problem. Reports from supply officers mentioned boots cracking apart, tent canvas turning chalky white, and soldiers developing rashes after handling gear treated with lye. Within months, commanders issued specific bans on using caustic soda outside approved maintenance tasks. But, the myth of the Lye Trick didn't die easily, because some soldiers swore it worked. In short bursts, the Lye Trick seemed to help. Soldiers who soaked knives or canteens in diluted lye saw rust vanish almost instantly. Leather dipped in weak solutions of lye felt temporarily waterproof after drying. The chemical stripped grime, mould and surface oxidation, giving the illusion of renewal. But beneath that clean exterior, the reaction was quietly destroying the material. Lye breaks down natural oils in leather, the same oils that keep it supple and waterproof. Once removed, the leather fibres weaken, and within a few days of flexing or moisture exposure, the material cracks and crumbles. For metal, the story was similar. While lye dissolved rust on contact, it also ate away protective oxide layers, leaving bare chemically active metal that rusted even faster once re-exposed to air and moisture. Soldiers would clean their bayonets or rifle bolts with lye, admire the shine, and find them pitted within a week. This false sense of success spread quickly through word of mouth. In a time before every chemical process was fully understood in the field, the Lye Trick looked like innovation, a cheap, fast fix for rust, dirt and rot. What soldiers didn't see was the long-term breakdown that followed. It became another case of battlefield improvisation backfiring because chemistry didn't care about good intentions. By 1943, the problem had become common enough to appear in internal maintenance bulletins. Reports from both British and American field divisions specifically warned against using caustic solutions on canvas, weapons, or leather. Official cleaning methods were reissued, instructing soldiers to use plain soap, water, and mineral oils for conditioning. Interestingly, some chemical officers noted in their journals that the lye issue wasn't entirely isolated. Improper use of lye also damaged mess kits and water containers, leading to cases of contamination and illness. When soldiers failed to rinse properly, residual sodium hydroxide caused burns to lips and mouths. These weren't widespread enough to make front-page headlines, but they made it clear why the Lye Trick was officially banned. What makes the Lye Trick so fascinating isn't just that it failed. It's that it mirrors the same mistakes modern survivalists and DIY experimenters sometimes make today. You know, in a crisis, there's this temptation to use any strong chemical for cleaning, sterilizing, or waterproofing, without fully understanding its long-term effects. You often see this with folks using bleach on fabrics, motor oil on wood, or even vinegar to sterilize soil. The chemistry might seem sound on paper, but nature doesn't work in half measures. Overcorrecting with a powerful substance often causes the very decay you're trying to prevent. Now, in survival applications, lye does have its uses, but only under control. For instance, you can make soap from animal fat and lye if measured properly. You can also use it to clean cast iron, but only if you neutralize and reseason the surface afterward. But raw lye as a quick field fix? Well, history has already shown us that such a shortcut leads to destruction, not durability. A practical modern equivalent to what those soldiers were trying to achieve would be using mild natural alkalis like wood ash, filtrate, or baking soda. These can clean, deodorize, and mildly sterilize without stripping oils or breaking down fibers. If you want to waterproof gear naturally, beeswax, lanolin, and boiled linseed oil all achieve what lye falsely promised: a long-lasting protective barrier that works with the material rather than against it. The Lye Trick story is a perfect example of how misinformation spreads in survival conditions. It's a snapshot of human creativity colliding with incomplete understanding, and it still echoes today in every viral hack that promises too much. The soldiers who tried it weren't foolish. They were problem solvers working under pressure. Their mistake was in trusting a shortcut that ignored natural balance. For history enthusiasts and survivalists alike, the lesson is clear. Knowledge without context can be more dangerous than ignorance. Chemistry, like warfare, doesn't forgive small errors. The men who mixed lye in their foxholes were trying to make life easier, but ended up learning a hard truth about nature's boundaries. If you value learning from the overlooked corners of wartime history, the failures as much as the triumphs, make sure to subscribe to Echoes of Valor. Every week we uncover the small experiments, forgotten tricks, and field improvisations that reveal the raw human ingenuity behind survival. Share this episode with a fellow history buff or prepper, because understanding why things failed is just as important as remembering what worked.